In this video, we're going to be going over implementation of Click2Pay inside of Sage100. To get started, we're going to need .NET Framework installed on the server. We'll need Sage Server 2016 or higher. We'll need Sage100 2020 or higher. And we'll need the installers and credentials and key file. So here we have two installers, the AR8003 installer and the Sync DLL installers. Inside of this C2P Sage Sync DLLs folder, we have a setup.exe. We'll right-click this and run the file as an administrator. Now I already have all the software installed on here, but we're still going to walk through the process. So be sure to run this as an administrator and install this directly to the C drive. Next, we have the AR8003 installer. This is the Sage enhancement, and as such, we'll need to run this as an administrator and make sure that we send it to the mass90 directory of the system that we'll be working in. So make sure that this path matches the path inside of the installer. Once that is completed, we will take our AR8003.inst file, copy it, and we'll take it inside mass90 to the sy directory, and we'll paste it in here. This is your software key, so it's important that you have it in here, otherwise you will not be able to activate the enhancement. Next, we'll go through activation of the software. Activation can be done in Library Master under the task Paya Advanced Features Registration. However, if this is your first time using one of the Paya Advanced Feature enhancements, you will need to make sure that you have this task available to you in Utilities by going to Security, coming into Role Maintenance, selecting your role, and there are actually two tasks that we're going to want to do while we're here. First is under Library Master, Utilities, Paya Advanced Features Registration, and this allows us to activate the enhancement. The other tasks that we're going to want available are under Accounts Receivable and Click2Pay. You can check this entire category on if you'd like, or you can just check the categories on that you would prefer to have if you're just setting this up for individual users. But if you're an administrator, you can set the whole folder up for yourself. So we'll go ahead and accept our changes here, and we'll go into the registration screen. So you'll see here that we have AR8003 in the list. What we'll do is click Activate here, and this is going to bring up the activation options. The first option on this screen is Click2Pay. This one must be enabled if you are going to be processing payments inside of Sage. The next option we have is Maintain Click2Pay by Document, which gives us the ability to enable or disable each document on the fly. With this option disabled, Click2Pay can be turned on or off by customer, and all documents will be integrated. Next, we have Accept Payments in Sales Order, which allows us to generate Click2Pay links for customers on sales orders. If it is disabled, you will not be able to generate Click2Pay link or for sales orders. Next, we have Create Cash Receipts on Sales Order Payments, and with this option enabled, the cash receipt import for sales order payments will create a cash receipt GL posting. With this option disabled, there will be no posting to cash receipts for sales order payments. Next, we have Default to Save Credit Card, and if Default to Save Credit Card is enabled, when a customer makes a payment and saves their card on the portal, it is going to save that payment information back into Sage. However, it doesn't save the entire card number, it only saves the token. If it's disabled, it will save it to the document level only, and you will not have the ability to toggle the save. And next we have Dynamic Discounting. And when Dynamic Discounting is enabled, terms code discounts will be pushed to the Click2Pay portal. The discount date will also be maintained in the portal, and the discount will automatically be applied if the balance of the invoice is paid prior to the discount date in full. If it's disabled, then terms codes and their discounts will not be sent to the portal. Next, we'll take a look at Custom Office. So we'll go down to Custom Office, customize your import wizard, and click OK. Here we'll click Next. We'll select the folder, And with this folder, if you're going to be using Click2Pay with sales orders, you will need to choose the with so.m4x file. If you're not going to be using Click2Pay with sales orders, you would choose the no so import file. Once those files have been imported, we will go ahead and update the custom panels. Just make sure that everything is up to date. And then we'll make our way to Paperless Office. So here in Paperless Office, we'll go ahead into the setup section and we'll look at Paperless Office options. And here in Paperless Office options, we want to make sure that we have forms enabled, as we send out forms when we do the electronic delivery. We'll click Accept, and we'll also go to Electronic Delivery Message Maintenance. Now here is where we set up the forms that go to the customer via Paperless Office. So we'll choose our document type, which is going to be a customer form. We'll choose the company code. We'll choose the module code. And we'll choose the document type. So here we're just going to look at an SO invoice. You can see that we've got a subject line for this, which is required. And we also have an image, and this image is hyperlinked. But it's not conventionally hyperlinked. This image is hyperlinked with one of these merge fields here. We have the Click2Pay URL field, which is what we imported when we did the custom office import. This image file can be found inside of your MAS90 directory under the Paya folder in the PNG folder. And this is the button. You can use any PNG that you'd like, and you're not restricted to only using this blue Pay Now button. You can customize it any way you'd like. As long as it is hyperlinked with the Click2Pay URL field, it will hyperlink that text from the order. Next, we'll go into Payment Type Maintenance under Accounts Receivable, Setup, and Payment Type Maintenance. Now you'll notice here that I only have a credit card payment type. And on this credit card payment type, you do not see a merchant account, and you do not see a virtual terminal ID or merchant key. If you are using Paya Core, you will have a merchant account, merchant key, and virtual terminal ID. If you are using Card Connect, you will not have these, and I am using Card Connect for this system. The next thing we're going to do is click on the Paya button in the top right-hand corner. We're going to click on the lookup, and we are going to choose the bank code that we wish to use. Next, we'll paste our merchant ID into the merchant ID field. However, it is important to note that the merchant ID you post here is the merchant ID for Click2Pay. This is not your gateway merchant ID. And once this is in here, we can go ahead and click Accept. Now, if you are using Paya Core, you will have, if they are using ACH, a separate ACH payment type with a payment method of ACH. If you are using Card Connect, you will use a payment method of credit card. It's just the difference in the nature and the way that Card Connect and Paya Core bring in their payments. The next thing that we're going to want to do is go into Accounts Receivable Options. We'll go to the Entry tab, and we'll make sure that batching is enabled for cash receipts is required. It's strongly recommended, though, that you use it for invoice data entry. You'll also want to make sure that you are allowing credit cards and ACH payments inside of accounts receivable, so make sure this checkbox is checked too. Next, we'll do the same thing for sales order. Go to Sales Order Setup, Sales Order Options, and here we'll go to the Entry tab, and we'll want to use Invoice Data Entry Batch Processing. Now, again, this is not required, but it is highly recommended. Once we're done with that, we will go to Common Information, and we'll go to Bank Code Maintenance. Now here in Bank Code Maintenance, we'll choose our bank code, and we'll go to Paya Options in the drop-down up here. Now there's this bank reconciliation checkbox here, and if this is selected, this will post credit card transactions from cash receipts to bank reconciliation, which is not a feature that is supported by stock Sage. Next, what we're going to do is go to Accounts Receivable. We'll scroll down to the bottom to that new Click to Pay section that we just enabled, and we are going to go to Company Setup. Now, here on Company Setup, we are going to choose our company code from the list, or you can click through with the arrows to get to the company you want to have enabled. So after you've chosen your company code, here in the top section here, the Sage100 section, I have it set to integrate with all. However, you can choose individual document types that you would like to use with Click2Pay. So if you only want to use invoices, only check the invoice box. If you only want sales orders, only do sales orders, and so on and so forth. Next, what we have is the link URL. So you'll see here that we have click2pay.paya.com. I also have a UAT here, but that's because I'm on a testing system. So you can ignore the UAT, but the paths are the same either way without the UAT. So an end user would have click2pay.paya.com and api.click2pay.paya.com/API. Next, we have the API user and API password. These fields are used for the merchant login for the Click2Pay portal. So this needs to be the merchant's login information, otherwise we will not be able to log into the gateway. And if you have bad information here, these green checkboxes are going to turn red and you will not be able to sync payments to the portal. Next, we have the Click2Pay merchant ID. And once this merchant ID is filled out, this is the same one that we would have put on the payment type. Once that's filled out, we'll get a green checkbox here, and it will import the platform name and the platform ID. Next, we have payment types. So here in the payment types, once the payment types are loaded, you will need to enable Click2Pay by each payment type that you're going to be using and determine the card type. Now you can use default if you're only going to use one credit card type, which we'd recommend, but you can also choose other options for the other different types of cards. So if you're going to have a MasterCard payment type, you would use MasterCard. If you're going to use Visa, you could use Visa, but you will need to have a default type for other variations of cards. If you are going to be using ACH, such as ACH through Paya Core, you will need to have this e-check option selected for that payment type. Next, we'll go to the document type section. And in this document type section, this gives us access to enable multi-pay as well as change the tab order. So multi-pay can only be enabled for accounts receivable invoices as it is not supported on sales orders. And the order is the order that this tab will show up inside of the Click2Pay portal. So 1 means that it's going to be farthest to the left. 3 means it's going to be farthest to the right. Once we have all of our information set up in all 3 screens, make sure you have everything set up correctly and click Accept. And next we're going to make our way into Accounts Receivable. And up at the top we'll go to Customer Maintenance. Inside of Customer Maintenance, we're going to want to select a customer that we would like to enable Click2Pay for. And in the top right-hand corner, we can click on the More dropdown and click Paya Options. Now here we have 2 sections. We have Restrict Payment Types for Click2Pay portal payments, and we have Activate Click2Pay for the following document types. Restrict Payment Types allows you to select which kind of payment type you would like to restrict for that customer. If a payment type is selected, that payment type will not be able to be used inside the Click2Pay portal by the customer. If both types are restricted, then the customer will be able to review invoices in the portal, but they will have no available payment methods to make payments. Next, we have the Activate Click2Pay in the following document types. And here we can select which document types to sync to the Click2Pay portal to allow online payments for. If you have all selected, this is going to select all the checkboxes. If you have invoices selected, then only AR invoices and SO invoices will be sent to the portal for this customer. If you have orders selected, then it will send the orders up to the portal. And if you have quotes selected, it will send quotes to the portal. Anything that is deselected will not be sent to the portal. Now, when you turn off Click2Pay on any of the document types, it is going to prompt you to turn them off for all the documents that have not been synced to the portal. So if I was to create a document from here on out, it is not going to be synced to the portal. If I come back in here and check this back on and click OK, it's going to prompt me if I want to send up the open invoices that have a remaining balance. So anything that has a remaining balance will then be sent to the portal. Now, as for the payment links to be sent to the customer, you'll want to make sure that you have paperless office delivery options set up for that customer, and per document as well. So make sure that you select the document types for those customers. You take a look at the delivery options to make sure that you have email checked. You go to the email tab, and if you want to, you can use the email in data entry, or you can specify a different email that you would like to use through the customer contacts.